Everybody, this is Guacamelee Gold Edition. I'm Turbodog702, joined by Hooligan. This is a game that was made by Drinkbox Studios. Came out in about 2013. I don't know when Gold Edition hit. Gold Edition is a slight expansion pack that adds a challenge dungeon that we actually exploit pretty heavily inside of this run. A lot of sequence breaking, a lot of very tight movement tech inside of this game. Highly recommend it both as a casual and as a speed game. Be sure to check it out.
Agreed.
Also, Drinkbox has a new game, Severed, coming out at some point.
I think it's for the Vita.
Moving back.
Yeah. They'll get there.
But yeah, lots of really cool stuff, lots of history behind this. You'll notice that apparently we're a huge quitter. We're playing on French. That's just simply because it's less text boxes. The game moves by text boxes, so we save about 10 seconds doing that. But we're going to jump right into this. All right?
Just give us a countdown whenever you're ready.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
We?
Oh, there's more. All right, so let's see if I can get Tequila Tower here. I mean, this is the mark of a death knell for a run or a great start.
I cannot hear a word you're saying.
So we got Tequila Tower. We successfully navigated not being drunk.
Congratulations.
So this is Juan. He lives in an agave field and makes tequila from a bootleg still in his basement. So there's tons of people that contributed to this run. One of the people that's been really vital to finding glitch hunting inside of this game is Protung. He discovered this glitch that I'm going to try to do here. Yeah, there we go. So this is called Select Door Glitch. It basically allows us to wrong warp two portions of the game by setting waypoints that we can return to and extremely sequence break the game.
Although in this case, it's not that much a sequence break. What we skipped is going to the church,
Tutorial
beating
stuff.
up some skeletons.
Everybody say hi to Mexican Skeletor. There's a very deep and rich lore in the Guacamelee speedrunning community. Much more expansive than Drinkbox, I think, ever imagined. We're now dead, so, I mean, I guess...
All right.
I guess
Well.
time? No.
Reset. Kappa. Franker Z.
So there are a bunch of, like, very little skips that I can do in order to speed up the game a little bit more, but because of Select Door Glitch and how abusive it is, it kind of destabilizes the game at certain places. So we're going to hope it doesn't crash. If it does, I do have kind of recovery strats, but it'll take a little bit to get them implemented. So we're just going to hope that the gameplay is nice and this doesn't turn into another soft lock Sundays.
This is your punishment, dude. Your punishment for enacting crimes against gay-manity. I don't know if that's a word. That's probably not a word.
So as you can see, we got the weird wand. What this is we basically trick the game into not really loading the luchador wands right. So there's certain things that regular guy wand can't do that the luchador can do. And in that case, the game really doesn't understand what to do, so it just gives you the different costume.
This will show up again pretty soon after he leaves this area, in a slightly funnier looking way.
And this is just basic tutorializing of you. One thing that I would definitely say that this game does extremely well is it teaches you through play as much as possible. Yellow Skeleton's well known for their dodging abilities in the Guac community. But it teaches you through play really, really well. It gives you abilities at just the right clip that you feel like you're understanding the ability, but it's always throwing new possibilities at you in situations. Another thing as far as that's concerned is the game doesn't throw away mechanics. It will always recycle them, but toss them together in new and interesting ways. We are switching to, donation. Did we have anything? Donation incentive? Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. So we're going ahead and playing as Tostada. We picked the Alabrije costume. We picked Tostada because she's slightly faster to menu to. That's the only reason for this version of the game. Alabrije is a kind of a New Game Plus costume, and it allows us to deal double damage at the expense of taking double damage as well. We're going to be switching to another costume far later in the run called the Skeleton costume. Everybody say hi to Puma Man.
What's up, Puma Man?
Puma Man, hype! Kaboom!
He's actually a jaguar.
No, he's...
Not a...
Don't call him by his slave name, dude.
That.
He doesn't like that.
I'm
Giant
speechless.
chicken. Don't worry about that chicken.
That's fine. Everything is normal.
So we have this roll, as you can see. Rolling is slightly faster than walking, and it's a form of dodging enemy attacks. But what's really cool about it is, as you can see in here, I can use it in order to break my combo's recovery frames and kind of get into the next one very quickly.
Sometimes a little too quickly.
Yeah. Sometimes the game decides. So in SDCE, which is the, I guess you would say, updated version of this game.
It's kind of an expansion.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. It brings in some new areas and a new boss and stuff, but the combat is a little bit more snappy in there. But in general, this game is much more well-liked just because of the ability to do the sweet SDG glitches, which I'm really disgusted that Proton didn't decide to call it the Luchador. That was just he just botched that completely. Like,
I'm offended
it was right there on the table.
by your suggestion.
So this is Oye Chivo, he's your mentor. We are going to be picking up our first power that we got from breaking a Chuzo statue. There's no copyright strikes here. Just
Nope.
it's
This
clearly
is legitimate.
a different thing.
This is a legitimate, unique mechanic that has never before been seen in a game. I mean, you break the statues. You don't like do some other thing with them.
Yeah, it's not like it picks you up like a bowling ball or carries you somewhere.
That wouldn't even make sense
Yeah.
for anything to do that.
So this is an example of the wrong warp where we basically end up back at the town that we were at before, and we're going to abuse this even further. So after we pick up our power for the Rooster Uppercut, we normally would have to go through half of a forest still. We're going to stop that from happening by going to the agave fields and deciding to be a huge quitter. But the game doesn't want us to be a quitter, so it's just going to push us forward in the game. You know, it's just like this. It's just like modern games now. You know, they'll just. Do you want to skip this level?
Fine. Sure, go ahead. Here's your golden leaf.
Here's the smiley face for you. That says try better.
So something that you might notice about this game is that it is thoroughly serious. There's a very like marked absence of like the kind of humor that you might see in other games. Like, for example, you know, like lowbrow humor like memes.
They don't exist.
That sort of thing does not appear in this game. You don't see anything like that.
Dude, I wanted to watch that match. El Niño de Carne versus They didn't come to my town though. Instead, we just got to see El Carne beat up on some jobber. This is Combo Chicken. He's like the best character in this game.
Agreed.
And yeah, I'm really hoping that when Guacamelee 2 comes out, it's just gonna be Combo Chicken Gaiden. Maybe Juan turns heel. Like Combo Chicken has to stop his Juan protege or something. We're just beating down on Poncho, by the way, because he is actually a jobber.
He's fine.
His entire purpose is to job to us.
Dude, he's fine. Everything's fine.
So that was, again, just tutorializing us on the combat. So I spoke that we got the Rooster Uppercut as an ability, but I didn't really talk about it too much. So, oh wait, we gotta see. Anakin. Anakin, are you gonna bring balance to the guac? That's one peck? Okay, alright, one peck. Well, I'll take one peck.
Solid one peck.
These are Olmec heads. They act as your teleporters in this game, as you find in many Metroid games. So the way special moves work in this game is if you look underneath my red bar of life in the upper left, you'll see some yellow squares. That's not because of Atari graphics. That is your stamina chunks. And every time you use a move that's like a special move, it consumes a block of stamina. And stamina recovers slowly over time. And a big part of this game and room management and moving through things efficiently is, of course, your stamina management. Can I get... Okay, that's alright. Just too many sorry, they're not in-jokes, they're deep lore. This is established. Drinkbox hasn't refuted it yet. And if they
That's how
haven't
you know
refuted
it's
it,
true.
it's obviously true.
They know they can't comment on it because they would have to, you know, they would have to admit the truth.
Wesker's ex-wife.
Grosses caresses. Dude, agreed.
Double salt.
My French pronunciation is great.
It's perfect. Don't worry about it. No French people are listening right now.
I think the French people might be more likely to be listening than like people on the west coast of the United States right now. No, it's actually like 10, 15. People might be awake by now.
So something of note is that we are playing a game about Mexican luchadors in French, made by a bunch of Canadians in America. And every once in a while, because of this select door glitch, Italian hackers sometimes attack and decide to change the language. So this is a very internationally focused game. So we're getting introduced to this world swapping mechanic through these portals, and basically it transports you to the land of the living or the land of the dead. And as you can kind of tell a little bit, there's sparkles on some platforms. And later there'll be enemies that are cloaked in shadow, and that indicates that you have to be in one zone or the other, either living or dead, in order to combat them, or platform on those platforms. So we don't want to be greedy in this room, you know. We only need to take 2 treasure chests. The rest of them we'll save. Perhaps invest them in rebuilding this fine establishment.
I mean, other adventurers could really use some of that money. Some of those sweet dollaros.
A little bit bad luck there on the swing timing. However, because these guys wrangled, I save a lot of time doing multiple combos in order to hit them. That's what you gotta trust the boners. When you trust the boners, they give back to you. They rise to the occasion. They give back. Villagin's just looking straight at me. Just I don't know why, but... So we got the Olmec Headbutt. Olmec Headbutt is the strongest single damaging move in the game. Let's see here. We're gonna buy some... Sorry, I have been battling a cough like this whole marathon. We're gonna buy another stamina chunk. Just like in some other games, you buy chunks, and when you get 3 chunks of either health or stamina, you get another block of it or another section of health.
I'm having a very hard time taking the word chunk seriously at this point.
What about
I'm too
boners?
sleep deprived. I don't know what you're talking about.
Alright, so we get introduced to blocks. We did in the last area, but here it's kind of pushed forward a little bit more. The color of a block dictates what special move you need to use in order to break it. Yellow ones are broken with Olmec Headbutt, red ones with Booster Uppercut, and we're going to see more of those as the game goes on. You'll notice that I'm going through most of these arenas pretty quickly, and that's because arenas, at least in where enemies spawn, it's completely structured. You know where they will spawn at. Wow, okay. Thanks, guys. It's just... And see, this is the problem too, is like, because I messed up on that sequence, I ran out of stamina, so I had to wait for it to regen before I could effectively get up into that portal to fight.
Yeah, optimizing your arena performance is insanely important for getting good times in this game. You just need to not waste any of your stamina or any of your attacks. You'll easily lose a pretty substantial chunk of time.
Yeah, especially in certain arenas where you need to be particularly safe for if... Because the thing is in Alabrije, there's enemies that will one-shot you easily.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to be particularly careful with that. So this is Goat Jump. This is your typical Ninja Gaiden wall jump.
I'm sorry, your typical Ninja Gaiden. Goat jump.
Luchador grab wall ability and push off
Excuse
of
me,
it.
grab goat ability.
Grab goat. Okay, sure. We'll go with that. Hello, chicken. So I'm going to go for some really silly strats that I have literally only spent 1 hour trying to learn in the next acid room. But that's okay. It won't cost me... It'll only cost you, the viewer, your patience if I fail.
And fortunately, you already have the option to tune out anyway.
Which you probably have already, but that's alright. I don't hold it against you, I'm just disappointed. Alright, so let's see if we can get this.
Spoiler, no, you can't.
Not that time. Okay.
Oh.
One more time. Yeah, okay. We're just gonna do it.
That was pretty good the last time.
It's a very, very tight jump there. If you can jump high enough to get into that portal and get into the next area, then you can kind of continue on at a much faster clip. It saves about 2 seconds from the strat that I did secondly. But unfortunately, I just haven't been practiced enough. There's a lot of really, really advanced strats in this game, and I'll be honest, I'm not the best player in this game. I just happen to be the guy that seems to be able to make it to these marathons and really show off this game, and I'd like to think I would do a pretty good job of displaying what's possible.
In the
You
right place
super
at the
don't
right
want
time.
skeletons to get away from you, the yellow ones. Yellow skeletons are some of the most dangerous enemies in the game, and some of the most unpredictable. So it is imperative that you stop them from doing anything if possible.
Yeah, yellow skeletons have a penchant for dodging just completely at random and making your life miserable.
They
and
can even break out of your combos to dodge.
yeah,
So
that's the worst.
by the way, if you guys wanted to plug for Californithon, now would be a great time. We've got about 30 seconds or so.
No, cool. So I can read a couple donations during that time?
Sure, go ahead.
Great. Right now?
Yeah.
Or in 30 seconds?
Real quick, just to mention this. This is the first boss of the game, but it's basically an auto-scroller. It's just making you put together everything you've learned to this point. You know, platform, fight, break blocks, do everything quickly. And during this auto-scroller, go for it.
Alright, so we only had a couple. We got to Substyle, donated $20. And Wesker donated $4.20. Yo, Xtabe is my wife. We got back together. She's just making me sleep on the couch is all. Shoutouts to the studs on the couch. Let's kick cancer's butt, guys.
Wesker, I just want to kick water's butt. Thank you very much.
Oh, we just got to
But no
App
greetings from
coordinated.
Germany.
Just
Yo.
donated $45. Had to donate now because I adore Guacamelee and its speedrunner community. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Ab.
Just to let you guys all know, everyone's watching, we are raising money for Charity Water. They are a community or a charity that provides clean drinking water and clean water systems for communities in third world countries and developing nations. They do a lot of great work, and we are closing in on $4,000. Who's gonna take that? Who's gonna snipe that? Someone's gonna do that.
Can I get a conversion for that in pesos? To keep in the spirit
yes.
of the game?
We need. Who's gonna donate? Who's gonna do it?
So we're going to do a little bit of warp manipulation here, and this is to try to attempt to get us into the land of the dead in a place we should not be in the land of the dead at this point.
Who's gonna donate 1,528 pesos and 11 peso cents? Who's gonna do it? 1,500 pesos.
Ole, guys, come on.
Which, by the way, is $87.
Dude, get your peso cents out. Let's go.
It's the peso cents.
Dig in the bottom of your peso sofa.
Alright, so once again... So now that we're kind of done with the Forest del Chivo, which was the first place we set it... Oh, no.
Apparently
No.
we've been attacked by
No.
Italian hackers.
Get out of here, Italian.
Frost.
That's what I mean. See, I didn't do anything there except change my location from my warp point, and they took that
You
moment
also
of weakness.
changed the location to Italy, dude.
I changed my time of day. It's gonna be raining outside now. Cycle of the moon's off. So this is Flameface. Everybody say hi, because this is the only other time in the game you're gonna see him, and he's a complete idiot.
Hi, Flameface.
Plus de balles.
It's funny that you mentioned that about the spider run, Turbo,
Yeah.
because we couldn't disconnect from Steam earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, that run was pretty sweet. If you guys get a chance in the VODs, I I don't remember the exact name of it, but it was Spider. and it was
Spider Ride of the Shrouded Moon, I
Yeah,
think.
Snowfats was right. That was a pretty
Why do I
interesting
remember the name of that game?
Must have been that interesting.
I was asleep.
I don't know, man.
I don't know what that says about me or that game.
Okay, so the main thing that we did with all of this finagling with menus and such is we set kind of our warping destination to Santa Lucida, which is a nice middle point in the game. And we ended up in the Forest del Chivo in the Land of the Dead, which we should not be in right now. Normally, you'd be going to the desert first, which is where Flameface kind of breadcrumbs you to go to, not so subtly, if you're reading the game in English or in your preferred language. But we're just going to ignore him, stay in the Land of the Dead, and head to Pueblucho, because that's where we can grab a dimension swap power from Shitabe. X baby. So we're gonna try to do this, and it's gonna be a combination of me executing it correctly and Shitabe deciding to cooperate. But we're gonna try to infinite her in her first phase. Bosses in this game have a system that's almost like an infinite detection that keeps them from being just completely comboed out. But we're gonna try to avoid that by staggering our hits.
Religion.
Right on.
Snowcat says, to answer your question, Snowcat said it's because he shills for it nonstop.
What? Whatever. We're fighting a fight. Oof.
So that was weird. Normally, if you dodge her Hurricane on the first time, it won't have like a hitbox kind of next to it. So because it did that weird thing, I'm going to play this a little less aggressively. We didn't get the infinite on her in the first phase because she was next to the wall, and I kind of like, I don't know how to put it. I like went through her hitbox and thus hit her from the back and pushed her the other way or something. Just a lot of oddities happening right now, but that's all right. We're gonna move. We're gonna champion one, as we often do in speedruns.
You mean reset?
That's correct. Champions reset. Always back down.
Pretty much.
Never not back down.
This is my favorite power-up in the game. Because a heart with, like, fly wings just comes flying at you. And then you get the changement due dimension. My French pronunciation is flawless.
So we're just gonna dip out of here. We end up in Combo Chicken's gym. Luckily, it's not Combo Chicken's sex dungeon, which is a thing inside of this game. We're gonna go ahead and head into the desert now, and we're gonna break these blocks and then quit out. The reason for that is we need to reset our objective point. Otherwise, certain things are not gonna work. But we're gonna re-enter the desert then. Because we have dimension swap, there is actually an arena skip that we can do without it in this location. But with dimension swap, it trivializes it because it adds a platform. I mean, I'm just gonna throw the controller John's at here right now. I normally plan to play a PS3 controller, but unfortunately for the event, I'm having to use an Xbox One controller. So it's a little unfortunate, but we're working with
Yeah, it sucks to have to use a superior controller.
How much are you getting paid? Like,
For Sierra Mist now.
I mean, how
Microsoft.
much was it to get a computer chip embedded in your head to force you to say that?
Just to be
Against
clear,
your
I
will.
am not endorsing any particular products. My views expressed are my own. Blah blah blah. Yeah.
Certainly not the views of anyone else.
It's a shame that you don't recognize a good controller when you use one.
I mean, I would, except I can't actually use this controller. That's the problem. Alright, so this is tutorializing us about shields, which we already saw briefly. Shields are the same principle as blocks. You use special moves in order to break them. Shields for enemies do regenerate over time, so it's important that you stay on top of enemies after you kill them off. So we're going to be going for something that's a risky strat and something that's very recently developed. And the reason we're going to do this is because it's funny and because I kind of had a hand a little bit in discovering it. I say discovering it, but it's really Proton and Abyssion who did all the legwork in figuring out how it worked and getting it to work consistently. So
I have big news. You guys, I got news.
what's our news?
Mr. Ablekin donates, says Olay, and makes us hit 4,000 goddamn dollars.
Nice.
Yeah. Woo. Everyone who's awake is clapping.
$4,000, guys.
Not many people are currently awake.
That was
tired.
approximately. He donated. What was that? What was that number?
A number. He donated some number.
All right, let's see.
At least 1,500 pesos.
It was a give or take.
Let's see if we can get this. All right, so
The 1,321 pesos.
this we thought was originally a soft lock. I ran into this 3 times before I got enough data for Proton to break it, and then Abyssion found a way to do what we now call Chad the overly friendly cactus. And this is really inconsistent, but we're gonna go for it because that's just you know we're beyond this. I mean, the death only as a concept is what matters, and life is a big part of that, and it's a big part of the things that you care about. I know you much better than you think I do. I'd love to meet you sometime, maybe shake your hand, maybe get a kiss right
Beautiful,
there on the
dude.
face. And I don't know, we can body slam people a little bit maybe. But we're gonna move on here. And as you saw, that cactus was on a lower platform now. That's something that's very subtle unless you've actually kind of paid attention or played the game quite a bit. But because we moved that cactus to the lower level, we were able to jump over him as the Puyo form. I'm kind of glancing over Puyo form because there's a lot to cover with this.
Dude, you're a chicken. You look beautiful.
No, I'm not. I'm a
Well,
dragon.
you're a dragon. You're a dragon chicken.
Dragon because I'm in the Alabrine costume. But it's the fastest form of normal movement in the game. That's non-prohibitive. There are faster forms of movement, but they either require heavy glitching or special techniques in order to do it, or a conditional like being next to a wall. This is an awful, awful pattern
Yeah,
right
this
now.
is the worst. So this room, these guys are basically random in terms of.
Okay,
Where
I gotta
they
take a
position
hit here
themselves?
just to hope that I get. Okay, alright.
But yeah, in the Alabrine costume, if you take 2 hits, I think.
2 hits, and
You're dead.
sometimes 1 if you take a couple in the previous counter.
Yeah.
So.
So yeah, you need to be really careful in terms of getting hit there.
So normally we would not be able to be in the land of the living at this time, so we wouldn't be able to talk to this guy. However, because we got the dimension swapping ability out of order, we're able to talk to him, access El Infierno early. This is a rooster. Pay no attention to the rooster. He's a
not
tertiary
important.
character. at
Some
best.
random guy. That's fine. It's actually worth
Okay,
mentioning
hold on.
that this entire time, Turbo's
Oh,
been.
yes! We went. Okay, so we went full
Nice.
AC/DC. This is the highway to hell. What this allowed me to do is not hit a checkpoint and have to kind of like return back to this place. It's basically a paralysis skip using 2 text boxes initiating at the same time. So it's like a 50-50 kind of for me. And it's a 20-second time save, and we got a really fast Chad. I'm a little disappointed that this wasn't as great of a run technically in other places, but I'm actually really happy that we got to show a really quick Chad and a sweet AC/DC highway to hell this whole time. So we have the ability to swap back into human form from chicken, but like I said, chicken's the fastest form of normal movement, so we want to spend a lot of our time there. And funny thing, a drunk Wesker and fried eel discovered that you can do this technique that I'm about to do, which is called swap hopping. And well, swap hopping allows you to basically gain infinite height as a Puyo by tricking the game into thinking you have a double jump. And you have to hit buttons in a very particular rhythm. Like, you can't just mash it out. And that's one of the things that's been kind of challenging switching to this controller, is I am not a fan of of this particular controller, of their shoulder buttons. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. But I digress. We went up to Sierra Morena to start our progression point much higher than it should be at this point. We're going to go over here, and we're going to switch over to the skeleton costume. Skeleton allows us to have infinite stamina. We no longer need it anymore to do special moves. See, tertiary character. This guy just keeps butting it.
I don't know who you're talking about. I've never seen this character before.
But what's really cool, it's my favorite costume in the game, not just visually, but it allows you to break one of the fundamental rules of action economy in this game, which is like you must have stamina in order to do special moves. But with skeleton, that's not an issue. Since we're not going to be doing a lot of combat, switching to skeleton is preferable because it'll allow us to do, you know, more with stamina and more with movement. So what I just did there is called El Infierno door number 3, and it's not. Okay, so we're gonna have to do this again. I actually ran into this as a bug in my practice as well, which is a little weird. So we're gonna do this again. And for some reason, it didn't set my progression point. I'm currently playing on like kind of a DRM version of the game, or a DRM-less version of the game. So I'm wondering if that's kind of one of the things that's causing this. But regardless, we're gonna go back in here, and we're gonna go back through door number 3 and see what happened here. I did swap up to Sierra Morena, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then I came back down. It's very peculiar. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and do this. Okay, 1, 2, there's 3. Yes. Go out. Okay, I think it may be... Okay, maybe it's I was quitting too quickly, so it wasn't saving fast enough.
Could be.
I'm used to my computer being maybe a little bit snappier with the loads, so maybe it just didn't save.
All right, there it is.
Yeah, so now we have access to a bunch of powers. What door 3 does, or door 8, I should say, is a door that's supposed to take away your abilities and then give them back to you based on the progression the game thinks you should be at. But door 3 does it as well, which is kind of odd. This is a cutscene skip for Puma Man. He's just gonna chill out and watch us.
It's actually really interesting how they found out that even existed.
The devs gave it to us.
Yeah, they didn't know anything about it, like that there was anything special in El Infierno. And then
This is
it
over
turned
the
out...
top. Go for it.
It turned out in Super Turbo Championship Edition, some players ended up in a situation where they had locked themselves out of a given ability by screwing up the order of progression a bit. And Drinkbox responded in like an FAQ on their website that was like, oh yeah, if you get in that state, just go to El Infierno, go inside door number 8, and then leave. And, you know, of course, speedrunners see that and immediately just jump
It's
on
like,
it.
I wonder if it works inside of, you know, Gold Edition, and sure enough.
Yep. I do want to mention what the actual like input is for swap hopping, because it can be very easy to see him having any
Wait,
trouble
hold on
with
to
it at
that
all.
for just a moment while
Sure.
I get destroyed in this next screen.
Oh yes.
Shoot. That's kind of poor. That should not have been a place where there was an issue, but that's alright.
Generally on this screen, if you're gonna fall, you want to fall all the way off the bottom so that you respawn on the ledge you were already on. But of course, that can be easier said than done.
Okay, and then this is going to be an arena skip, hopefully.
Again, lots of swap hopping involved.
And that's just dodging a trigger here. That's the
Alright.
attack tactic. Attack yawn. So once I get on the other side, then we can kind of talk a little bit more about the swap hop technique.
Now we got some Goat fly.
So Goatfly is the fastest horizontal movement. That's not like glitchy, like zipping or something like that. But the thing about that is, in order to use it, you have to have a wall to spring off of that's flat. Which, luckily, we have right here.
So that's just the same arena skip in reverse, of course.
Oh. I've been practicing that. I can get it like about half the time.
That is an insanely tough like momentum preservation jump there.
So anyway, swap hopping.
Yeah, so the input that he's trying to do every single time he's swap hopping is basically you have to tap the left bumper and then tap left bumper and left trigger in rapid succession. So bumper, bumper trigger, bumper, bumper trigger. And actually, it turns out what you can do that is the same effect is just keep doing bumper trigger, bumper trigger, bumper trigger over and over and over again. That's what he's doing. But on the Xbox One controller, like the way the trigger works, it's just very like mushy
It's
kind of.
more the bumper for me,
Really?
because the bumper's accentuation point is a lot closer to the outside of the controller, and I have very long fingers.
Oh,
so
that's true. So it ends up being really awkward on this controller. It actually works really well on a 360 controller, and also
today's
on a PS3 controller, and also on a like a Wii U Pro controller.
jump. All right. That's actually kind of. It seems really simple, but like if you mess it up, it's pretty punishing to have to do that whole go.
I actually really like that screen because of the way they placed the background columns to indicate where you could swap. Alright, so now we're going to fight Jaguar Lynx.
I'm telling you, dude, he's gonna get his revenge on you. It's Puma, man. He's always been.
Dude,
Puma,
it's
man.
Cheetah. It's Jaguar Cheetah.
Nah.
Puma. It's Lynx. Cougar.
See, look at this. The game won't even acknowledge his true name.
So, Javier's a pretty challenging fight, especially when he does that. Fire-based attacks can't be dodged. You just take the damage. And if he takes another one of those, he is dead. But it's mostly just about quickly reading what shield he's using, breaking it, and then
Asses!
kicking his butt. Kicking his asses.
Alright. So, we're coming up to probably one of the other largest skits in the game. And this is, funny enough, not even related to the luchador. It's just a way the game assesses checkpoints. It's kind of weird. So we're going under this save point specifically. And we're going to try to get a check or cutscene skip here. Okay, and because we got that Olmec head to activate and we skipped the next checkpoint, we're going to go ahead and try to buy something from the next checkpoint in Grand Temple without actually triggering it. And that's going to allow us to do something pretty abusive and awesome for the purposes of the speedrun. So we go in as a chicken to avoid the checkpoint at the beginning of the door. Buy something. We turn into a huge quitter. We decide to retire in the town. Decide that we've forsaken our luchador roots and kind of return to the battle. And the game just allows us to, skip another level.
Good dungeon.
So Grand Temple used to be an extreme run killer, like all over the place. But it turns out you can skip the whole thing now.
Yep.
Which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be overstated how difficult Grand Temple was, especially because you used to do it without
Like,
Go
one
climb.
hit kills you on so many things, and there's so many difficult enemies that can dodge out of your combos.
Yeah.
So here's Mexican Skeletor once again. We're going to see if we can clean him up here. He has two phases. First phase, we're shooting for a 2-cycle.
What?
Maybe
Dude,
a
go for
three-cycle.
unicycle. Come
I
on.
can't do the unicorn, dude. So unicorn is, you can one-cycle him, but it has to be a very specific thing that happens, and you have to completely commit to it. You can't react to it, really. So, I didn't read that fast enough. I'll take a 3-cycle, though. 3-cycle is still very good.
It was a good 3-cycle.
But But yeah, I couldn't read that he was a blue shield instead of a green shield quickly enough, so that kind of staggered me a little bit. So, do I go for danger strats here, or do I
Always.
play? Oh god! All right, we'll
One
give it
time.
an attempt of danger strats.
Oh my god.
That's not even a danger strat.
No, I just hate that attack. Good job not dying.
Nicely enough, we didn't have to worry about that.
Didn't even come into play. So yeah, that boss is really pretty straightforward. It's just breaking the shields and kicking his butt.
And
Some-
making sure you stay on top of him so he doesn't get his shield back also.
and I think every single one of those attacks is a one-hit kill.
Yes.
At your with Olibrihe and with no
It
health
might even
upgrades.
be normally, isn't it? At least
I
many
know
of them
several
are.
of them
Yeah.
are, yeah. All right,
So-
so time is going to come up soon.
So this is a nice precursor. So if you like what you saw, we're gonna get the bad ending here. But if you like what you saw, definitely this is the best modern game that I played. To be honest with you, I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was done really well. Pick it up, and you can get all of those max pieces, and then you can get the good ending. Time is gonna be when I grab her and give her a nice grope, and that's going to be now.
Did you guys? Time. Yeah.
We stopped time at 40:27. It was probably around a 40:10 or so.
Okay. Yeah, so some mistakes there, but in general, I got to show off a lot of the cool tricks inside of it.
That's a pretty good run. Guacamelee a pretty good game.
Pretty good game.
Pretty it's
Pretty
okay.
good.
It's passable.
All right. Lots of people contribute. Like I said, shout out to all the Guac community. Wesker, Proton, Fried Eel, Lady Smell, Bagel Thief, Annihilator, because I forgot him in the Guacamelee stream specifically. Abyssion, Namki, Games Ed Plays. Like, really, you can look at the top 20 on the PC leaderboards. All of those
And
guys
they're all
have done
Proton.
Yeah. Half of them being Proton, perhaps, maybe. Rom Scout's in there too. The
Ah,
phenomenal
sure.
Rom Scout, phenomenal player. During the course of 24 hours in Egavania, became a top 3 Ori player and a top 15 Guacamelee speedrunner
What
in the
a
same night.
God, dude.
What a
Oh my
windfall.
gosh. What a god.
All right.
God,
Thank you guys
gamer.
for watching this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed a lot. Please do give to the charity. Great cause. Having a lot of fun. I've had a lot of technical kind of stuff go wrong, getting stuff ready for Californithon, but it's been a blast while I have been in here and enjoying it with friends and stuff. So be sure to give it a watch. Yes, we're getting a singularity. Don't worry. Don't worry. This is all.
This is normal. This is
normal.
expected.
Is it Skynet? What is this?
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and kill that so that.
No,
it
no,
doesn't-
no, no.
no. I
That
don't want to
could
give
cause,
somebody
like,
a seizure.
Yeah. What
Alright.
was that?
But yeah, be sure
Dude,
to
your
check it out.
software is up to date. Nice.
Very cheap on Steam. Oftentimes when it goes on sale, very worth it. But I'm Turbodog702 with Vooligen. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. See you later. Watch
care.
more Californithon.